Season Live. I'm Stacy Jordan with Red Sleigh Workshop, and we have some really amazing things happening here today. Um, we've got a conversation lined up with someone who sees holiday lighting, the industry from a really different perspective. We have Ashley Garber. She's Vice President of Sales at Certified Lights, and she works really closely with lighting companies all across the country. She helps them grow with operations. She helps them prepare for bigger and better seasons. She's also going to be speaking at the TransWorld Christmas show coming up in March, and that's is the largest, if not, largest Christmas show in the country. But it's a huge industry event, and if you're serious about growing your lighting company, then that's where you got to be. Definitely at the TransWorld Christmas show. And like I said, I'm Stacy Jordan. If you don't know me, I'm the founder of Red Sleigh Workshop, and of course, we are also joined by my partner and strategist, Patrick Russell. He's our executive vice president. He helps with operations, the training, helps the design strategies sometimes with us, and also does everything behind the scenes here at Red Sleigh Workshop to make things running smoothly. So, Patrick, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Hello, I'm Patrick Russell. I am the co-founder and executive vice president of Red Say Workshop. Um, yeah, I do all the logistics, scheduling, all the fun stuff that we hate to do, but drives me crazy if it's not done right. Been working with Stacy for a while. We started Red Sleigh Workshop last year. It's been an amazing journey. Did a lot of cool projects last year. Got to work very closely with Ashley and the whole Certified Lights team. So we've had a lot of fun. We got a lot more stuff planned with Certified, and we're really excited about it. We love working with them. Um, it's with their wealth of knowledge for the the residential installers and all the great products that they have. It just fits so well with what we're trying to do here at Red Sleigh Workshop. So. Yeah, it's we just got done with Light It Up Expo. It was a great time. Met a lot of great installers and looking forward to everything we got planned coming up this year. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, awesome. So, Ashley, if you want to give a quick introduction for who you are and why you're here.
Sure, why not? I don't know if I can match executive vice president. I may have to talk to Scott about that one. But yes, my name's Ashley Garber. I'm the just regular old VP here at Certified Lights, for the distribution side and for our installation company as well. Um, Worked for Certified for 12 years now, so I feel like I've learned a thing or two over the time. Super excited to be here with the awesome Red Sleigh team. Like Patrick said, we have a lot of plans for the future, working side by side, and excited to talk about all things Christmas and TransWorld and light it up,
Yes,
all of it.
all of it. Yeah. So you were with us at Light It Up Expo last week. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like it was just a couple days ago because it was. And
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ashley, for being here again. And we're so looking forward to hearing your perspective from supplier side as well as the installer side. It's both of them. So I love hearing that. And also giving the people, our listeners, like the insight of what's actually happening across the country with our industry, right? And and about Light It Up Expo, shout out to Ryan Lee and his team. Great job, guys. That was a wonderful expo. They've been doing such an incredible job bringing installers together and different types of businesses together to push this industry forward to really help the lighting industry have much better handle on basically how to do things better, I guess, how to work smarter, not harder. And it's really what the lighting needs. And the collaboration and education that's happening right now is really great. It's exciting to watch it. And some of the big like takeaways that I got from it is how this industry is really changing, how landscape lighting and permanent lighting and holiday lighting are all they can all actually work together. A lot of people are really have been discouraged by the growth of permanent lighting, but I think it's an amazing addition. I think it's something that can either be a standalone business or can be something to add to your existing business. And I see it once installers start treating their businesses like a real company and not just like a side hustle, then that's when like the real changes are going to happen. So I'm excited that Ryan Lee put that out there into the world for us to all be a part of. And we had so many great conversations. What do you think, Patrick? What would be your feedback for Light It Up?
Light It Up was great. Yeah, we met, we got to see a lot of people in the vendor part of this business that we hadn't seen since TransWorld last year, or so it was good to catch up and see how everyone's season was. And then on the installer side, yeah, it was it was really great to see the landscape lighting people, the permanent light people, and the Christmas light people there, and kind of come together and share their experiences throughout the seasons, and how they're adding one or everything to their business, and just really leveling up. And the seasonal holiday people are like, oh, we can do landscape lighting and permanent lights during our slow seasons. So there was just a lot of great conversations. A lot of people signed up for a lot of the services that we offered. So they're going to be leveling up their commercial Christmas game, which is awesome to see. And we're excited to expand our installer network across the United States. So yeah, it was fun. I've never been to Orlando before. It was definitely an experience. Had a lot of fun. And yeah, I just got to meet some really great people.
Some may say too much fun.
I was gonna say, I think one night was maybe a little bit
Some
too
some
much.
may say too much. So I'm excited to see what TransWorld's going to bring when it's Light It Up Expo essentially on steroids. Um, Hopefully you're not going to match the energy at TransWorld.
That's the daytime energy for sure. I think I'm gonna take a lot of my nighttime energy and pour it into the daytime because Transworld is so big and it's such a long show that and it's a long show for a reason. I mean, you need those 3.5 days to really, talk to all the people that are going to be there. So yeah, it was yeah, there was one evening that was just over the top, I guess you would say. It was all out. It was everyone had a great time, and that's what going to these shows is all about, is having a good
Yeah.
time, learning what you can, and then meeting the distributor.
Connecting with like-minded folks who understand, right? I can talk to people outside of Christmas lights, but until you've actually done a Christmas light season, it's hard for people to really understand what it's like to go through it.
Exactly. So yeah,
Mhm.
I can't wait for Transworld. Um, Hell, it's 2 weeks away. So
Coming up.
all of a sudden I'm gonna blink. I'm sure we're gonna do like 12 of these lives before then. So
A few. We have a few lined up, yeah. Like
yep.
probably 12.
So it'll go by pretty quick, and then all of a sudden we're all gonna be just having a blast in the great city of Missouri or St. Louis, and I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Right. So, Ashley, what would you say? I know you sat in some of the classes. We sat in the social media class together. I saw that one. That was crazy, a crazy feed on my social media feed after that class. What would you say was like your takeaway from Light It Up Expo?
Honestly, I'd have to agree with you because I do think installers of Christmas lights, it's almost half and half. You'll talk to 10 people in a room, and five will be anti-permanent lights. It's ruining the industry. And then you've got the other five who are doing permanent lights, and then just trying to figure out how it's going to work with their current business, right? I
Right.
am one of those people who are not anti permanent lights. I think we have to change our mentality around it. It's not going anywhere, at least not in the foreseeable future, right? There's a market there. Customers want it. As installers, it's our responsibility and our duty to provide what the customer wants within reason, right? But if you don't do it, someone else is going to. And so, how can you make your Christmas light business work in a very evolving and changing industry, right? So I really enjoyed seeing the different permanent lighting vendors there. A lot of different landscape lighting vendors from different aspects, from distributor level down to the contractor level. Other groups, I know the ILI group was there for landscape lighting, which is I don't know if we have one like an actual group or organization. Oh, I guess there is one out there, but it's a little bit different. So no, I'm super excited. I've never been to Light It Up Expo. I didn't really know what to expect. I will say Ryan and his team did a great job for year two because I know what it's like to organize our Christmas light trainings. So trying to put on together a whole trade show respect, nothing but respect
Mhm.
to them because there's a lot of moving parts. Yes, I sat in Ashley Bissing's class. Always a fun time watching her, right? Because she's very interactive and it's people moving and grooving. And for a lot of those guys who are not used to being in front of the camera, it's super awkward and they don't want to do those things, right? So being able to grab someone and say, hey, come on, let's do this with me. You don't have a choice. I'm pulling you in to force you to get comfortable. It's always a fun time, right? It's always
Right.
fun. So I really enjoyed it. I do look forward to next year. I think next year, um, we already have plans to attend. So
Right. And oh, I forgot to do a shout out real quick. If you're watching on Facebook Live, please put all of your comments and questions into the chat. We have Patrick monitoring it, I believe. He's checking it out. Yeah. And
I
so if you
am,
have
yeah.
anything,
I'm looking, when you see me look down on screen, I'm not bored of the conversation. I'm actually looking at my phone monitoring Facebook.
is anybody on there right now?
So we've got 5 people.
Ooh, hi, five people.
But yeah, so Rick said hi, Rick Knauer. I hope that's how you
Hi,
say his last.
Rick.
So he said, see you there at TransWorld. So
Can't
I was,
wait.
so yeah,
Awesome.
I'm not bored. I'm just, looking down at my phone, watching to see if anybody's posting questions.
So
good.
yeah,
Let us know
please.
if we do bore you.
Yeah.
Okay, just let us
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
If you were, I would tell you. So
We would hope so. So I think with that being said, let's just jump in with some questions for you, Ashley. Like we talked about the conversation of permanent lighting versus residential lighting. Like let's just talk about what are some trends that you see coming. I mean, you went to Christmas World, right? So that's like the 3-year trend coming, but you want to talk a little bit about that or maybe about trends that are going to happen this year? Like what do you see coming up for the
The
installers?
hardest part about trends when it comes to products, you just never really know, right? So last year was very much multicolor. I've heard that from a lot of different people. I can look at my sales of multicolor products. Filament bulbs sold out within the first week of November. And then we had faceted bulbs flying off the shelf. And I do think a lot of that has to do with the whole 90s Christmas theme, right?
Mhm.
Which went viral last year. So it's hard to keep up with those. Like, okay, well, is it going to be multicolor again this year? Previous years, it's been candy cane, which is pure white and red. So I'm interested to know. I wish I could look into the future and say, okay, well, this is going to go viral this year. I'm sure there's probably companies out there that help plan for those things. I am not one of those. And if I did, I would be happy to share and say, hey, make sure you're stocked up on these products because we know they're going to be flying off the shelf. Do I think that multicolor is still going to be popular? I do, right? I do think it's going to be a popular one again this year. I don't see the 90s theme really going away just yet because we're seeing other products coming back. Jinko jeans, right? Sorry to show my
Oh
age, but Jinko
gosh.
jeans are coming back, right? So the
Why?
90s isn't going anywhere. It's
Why?
fanny packs, Jinko jeans,
I love the
and
fanny packs. I'm all about the fanny pack.
I, I don't carry a fanny pack, but hey, if that sells multicolor Christmas lights, I'm for it, right? When it comes to displays, which is what we saw a lot of when we were in Germany, um, the rope lighting is definitely making some changes, I think, to more of like your flex lighting, your neon flex lighting, and it looks a lot cleaner, it looks a lot sharper. I'm excited to see those products
Yes, the flex lighting
coming
looks
in.
cool.
It just looks upscale, it looks classy, it looks everything that you want commercial decor to really look like. Not to knock rope lighting, it has its place, obviously, but I think it's going to take it to that next level. At least I mean, it was all over the place at Christmas World. So I was like, ooh, I like that. So for regular installation products, we are seeing less greenery these days, I think. And I think that's more millennials wanting to do something different than their parents, right? Um,
Probably.
that's I could be totally wrong on this. Don't quote me. Don't say, hey, I'm not buying any greenery because Ashley, right? Greenery is always going to be super profitable, but we'll see. Hopefully it's still multicolor. It's nice to see a little bit of color. 80% warm white in the market. Let's shake it up a little bit, get some color out there, right?
Right. So, Patrick, for your perspective, like what have you heard and seen from people coming up? that you've talked to so far?
Well, it's funny you say that. Rick just commented. He said it's not ruining the permanent lights aren't ruining their seasonal um, customers. They said about 20% a year are converting over to permanent lights. So every year they're just trying to pick up 20%. The people that are converting over, they're just picking up new customers, but they only need to, replace the 20% that jumped over to permanent.
And you're not losing those customers. That's what installers have to recognize. You're not losing those customers. You put them on a maintenance plan, right? Now you don't have to do the roof line. Doesn't mean their Christmas budget is now gone. It doesn't mean permanent lights is going to be able to wrap the tree with minis, right? It's not going to replace garland around the front door or a wreath in the peak. Instead, you can focus on the more profitable items like greenery, right? Um, you can do trees, wraps, obviously, not the most profitable, but it's not like that product just goes away. It's just another offering for your customers. We just have to change the mindset a little bit.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Ashley. I think, when your customer says, "Hey, I want to do permanent lights," and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to, I'm losing that customer now that I do the permanent lights on their soffits or wherever." Um, there's more things to focus on. Yeah, you can do a maintenance plan to, have that reoccurring revenue, but they've always talked about wanting to do a wreath or garland or light, wrap some trees, but they couldn't afford it. Well, all of a sudden they're gonna have the roof line taken care of. So then all of a sudden they have that same, it's not like they're making less. So they have that same amount of money to be able to spend elsewhere. So instead of, losing the customer, you just pitch them, okay, well, now that that's done, we can just do, you know, we can do a large display in your front yard. We could wrap all your trees. We can put a, 60-inch wreath above your garage. Like there's so many different things that they can do to keep those customers.
Maybe more ground level decor. So then you're taking some of that safety aspect away, right? Getting up on the ladder, that's time consuming. Getting your ladder off the truck, all of that. So um, I think if installers continue to push back, they're just going to be left behind. And I mean that with all the love and respect in the world. So you guys are just going to have to pull your boots up and come along for the ride, or, we'll see you around the turn because it's not going anywhere, I don't think.
Right, definitely. So we're talking about like being on both sides of it, both being a, distributor, wholesale product distributor, and also an installer, having installation companies too. Like, what would you say the people that come through successfully as a lighting company, what do they do differently when they're operating like someone who's selling maybe $50,000 a year compared to like the people who get up to half a million or $1 million a year in sales? Like what do you see in your clients that's different?
A couple of things. One, they're not treating it like a seasonal business, right?
Yeah.
If you treat your business like a seasonal business, it's going to bring in seasonal revenue, right? It can be really difficult to grow a seasonal business. And what I mean by that is you have to constantly be working on the business, right? Whether it's improvements to your processes, to your procedures, down to product ordering for pre-orders, right? There's a
Perfect
lot.
segue for you. Perfect
Great
segue right
segue.
there.
Hey, it
Yeah.
ends it ends this month, right?
It's coming up.
So
Pre-orders.
the pre-order
Certifiedlights.com.
let's go ahead and get on it, right? Ashley Garber at certifiedlights.com.
There you go.
So yeah, it's the preparation, it's the planning, right? A lot of people will hang their Christmas lights up as soon as they've taken the Christmas lights down, and they don't start planning to hang them back up until they have to go and hang them back up, right? So if you're not planning in your business, if you're not working on your business, it just dies, right? That's just how it goes for any business, whether you're doing lawn care, pressure washing, anything. So that, and then the commercial piece, right? A lot of guys just want to focus on residential. Residential bids are coming in September, October, November. That's when they're actively working in their business, so it makes sense, right? However, for those that are doing the next level, they are working in commercial because 'tis the season of commercial bids, right? I think I
Right
saw
now.
like six, right? I made a post for my partners for like six of them saying, where are you guys at? We've got Red Sleigh waiting for you guys to help you bid
Right.
these large commercial projects. So that's the main two things. Obviously, planning for the business or planning to work in your business when it's April, May, and June, you have to. And I understand that, they're doing pressure washing, they're doing window cleaning, these home services that are busy at that time. But let's not take away from the fact that Christmas lights is a 30 to 40% net margin business, right? Why would you neglect a business that's bringing in that type of revenue? Doesn't make sense, right? So,
Right. Right. And that's something too that now is the time to work on these commercial projects and commercial bids. And even if it's just to be in the game, just to go and walk it and go to the bid opening, just to read it, just to go over it, even if you're not going to bid on it, just to see what's out there in your local area. I mean, Ashley Bissing talks about being 5 mile famous. Like in this Christmas industry, you got to know what's within your 50 mile radius, right? Who's around you? What's happening in your area? Who's your competition? What's out there. If you're not at these, if you're looking to get in the commercial space, you're not at these RFP openings or at these bid walks, you're not going to meet your competition, and you never know who you're going to need help from in your area
mhm.
or who you can actually help. A lot of guys that I've talked to do subcontracting work for larger companies in their area because those larger companies are busy working on larger projects and they don't want to deal with the smaller $10,000 projects or $5,000 projects that they're getting. So for me, this is about collaboration, not competition, right? So who can you be collaborating with in your local area? And sometimes it's not going to work out. Some people don't want to work with each other, and that's fine. They're not your people, but you can still keep, going at it. That's how I see it.
There's enough
So,
business for all of us.
right.
I'm in the Dallas market. I don't want half the customers in Dallas. I could not, that just sounds stressful, right? Um,
There's so
I'm
many
fine with,
clients in
I'm
Dallas.
at like 250. I'm good here, right? So there's no reason that we should be butting heads, right, in our local markets. Reach out to those that are either above you or below you and see how you guys can work together.
Right. So you talked about inventory strategies, right? Ordering product early. What does that look like for, say, a mid-size installer who's like, what does Certified Lights do to help people in that maybe they don't have that much of cash right now? Like, what do you guys offer?
So, we've got our partnership program, right? Where you guys can sign up to be a partner at certifiedlights.com. Our most popular feature or benefit, I guess I would say, is our PAP program, right? So, product advancement program. So, what that is we'll actually advance the product to you. You don't have to pay anything, right? It's either a pre-season, which has our best pricing, and you can make monthly payments now, starting in April through December, which is going to be great for those who do have those home service businesses already that's generating revenue. Or you can do an in season, right? So we ship all the product to you in September or October whenever you're ready to receive it. And you don't make any payments on that product until the first week of November, right? And then we split up those payments into 6 weekly payments, interest free, right? So we do all the financing in house. The reason why we do this is because a lot of people have to do one of two things, right? They have to either say, okay, I need to put more money into my marketing, but I need to get some products. So I'm going to scale back my marketing budget a little bit so I could buy my products. That's not good for business either, right?
No.
Especially at that time of the year, if
Yep.
you got to start ramping up your marketing going into October. Or they'll say, okay, Mrs. Jones, I got you on the schedule. Let me go ahead and take 50% down right now so I can order my products, right? Because I don't have them in the warehouse or in my garage right now. And then you order the products and then you wait for the products to come in. Well, sometimes Mrs. Jones doesn't want to wait, right? Or you've got the competitor knocking on her door saying, hey, I can get you installed today. I can get you installed tomorrow, right?
Right.
So now in the world of Christmas lights where everything's about urgency, I need to get on the schedule, I need to get decorated. I want to make sure my $1,500, $1,200, $900, whatever that price is being stretched out as far as possible for the longest period of time. So now with this PAP program, you don't have to worry about, do I have the product, right? I already have it. Certified already shipped it to me. I can keep investing. I can start cash flowing in October. I can start doing installs in October. I can cash flow and then not even have to worry about making any payments until November after I've already started cash flowing. It has a partner exclusive benefit, and really it's a win-win situation for both of us.
I was gonna say that's a really great benefit because it helps them forecast easier, right? And be able to know that they're going to get the product that they need and have it ahead of time. already
And while,
reserved.
yes, I'm a distributor, I'm not going to say, John, you need, a whole case, or you need a whole pallet of teal bulbs. Absolutely not, because that's not going to be
You're
good for
not?
you.
Really?
No, no. If it would make sense if I was a bad distributor to try and push a bunch of product that you don't need. But no, we keep it tight, right? Hey, warm white, if you need some color, you can order that as a standalone. No reason to stock that deep. Your 15-inch, your SPT1, your basics, your core items that you definitely need to get those projects going.
Right. And what about your return policy?
The only way you can return after November 31st, there are 31 days in November, right? Yes.
30 days?
30 days or is there 31? I've blocked out all of November because I'm at the point where it's like, okay, let's pretend like the Christmas light season didn't happen because
There's
again, we do installs as well.
Patrick knows that answer.
yeah, there's 30.
30. Okay, just kidding. Not 31. 30 days after the 30th, you can still return up until December 31st if you are on the PAP program. We don't accept any other returns after the 30th of November.
And there's a restocking fee though, probably.
Small restocking fee. Yeah,
Right.
between 5 to 10%. And we'll
Yeah,
even
but
help you ship the product back.
oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, I feel like having that flexibility and having those monthly payments or weekly payments, whatever you're doing, is so great. And the pricing you have is awesome as it is. So it's just really helpful. And I think that that's what's needed in this industry is people that are willing to help the people who aren't, you know, at the levels that everyone else is at, other people are at. Right. So I think that, what was I going to ask about too? Gosh. Oh, that's what it was. My brain just went. Uh, we talked a lot last season, you and I did actually, about the colors of the bulbs, right? Everyone that's newer in the industry or has been, even if they've been in for a while, they got batches sometimes that are different colored whites, right? We know there's pure white, warm white, sun warm white, and then other people call them other types of whites. And then can you just talk a little bit about that for the people who maybe don't have the language that we have to speak about, like Kelvin ratings? Like some people don't know what that is.
So if you are a Christmas light installer and you don't know what Kelvin ranges are, you've got homework today, okay? I want you to go do some research. That way you
Why is she
understand.
always giving us homework?
Always,
Gosh.
always, okay? You guys have to know what this means when it comes to your distributors. Because I understand you may have to buy from multiple different places, and that's totally
Right.
fine if that's what you have to do if one of your distributors run out. Um, but making sure you have whites that match is not just a picky installer, right? I will say there are a few things that installers are just picky about, right? Making sure your whites match should not be one of them, especially if they're going up on the same house, right?
Right.
So you've got, we've got our certified classic color that's closer to 2300. You've got your standard warm white, which is 2800. You've got some higher temps, 3150, and it really ranges. And a lot of the distributors aren't going to give you exact numbers, right? Of course not, right? But they'll give you a range. So know that, if you are buying 2800 to 3000, it still may look different, even if we both put the same Kelvin ranges on there, right? Because maybe mine's 2800, but maybe theirs is 3000. It's still
Right.
going to be slightly off. And that applies to everything, not just your C9 bulbs, but your mini lights as well. We got some product from a different vendor last year, and it was just like, okay, hold on, like, what have you been buying? Because to me, that's important. I want to make sure you guys have things that match. So it's like, okay, hold on, you got this from this person, this one, okay, let me make sure it matches this. Oh, it's not going to match, right? So here's your next best option. So yes, if you are not familiar with Kelvin ratings, please get get familiar because it can go any 2000. I obviously can go lower, but 6000, 9000, getting into the cool whites there. So pure white is probably the one I'm the most picky about, right? I've seen some that look a little bit warmish. I've seen some that look a little bit more cool whitish. So they not all whites are made the same.
Right. And they call it the color temperature, right? That's some people say the color temperature. I say the Kelvin, which I don't even know what that means, but that's the words that we use for it.
That's what I learned, right? That's what that little K stands for, in case you've ever wondered what that little K is behind the 2800.
Yeah,
There you
so,
go.
so it's like when you're buying lights for your house, it's like the daylight versus the office light or whatever they say that it is. So
Hmm.
that's similar for this. But when it comes to the Christmas lighting, like daylight would be our pure white. I think that's the
Yep.
closest thing that would that be. And then the warm light is the 2800. And then
Hmm.
like candlelight, people say, I want the candlelight. And that's the same thing as like a warm white. And if people say they want it to look like winter or icy, that'd be the cool white. But the range in the cool white it goes really far where it becomes blue, right? So
Yeah.
some people don't want that blue look. I remember that's all we could get when LEDs first came out was that blue, and no one liked that because they
Yeah.
wanted the warm. But yeah, I think that that's it's really important that you know from the vendor you're buying from what temperature your white is, right? What is your color temperature going to be? Um, and I think that you and I had also talked about having, of course, the mini lights having the same color temperature as the C9 or C7 bulbs. But what about the large scale pieces that are coming in? Like, do you work with your color temperatures for those large scale commercial pieces
We
too?
have, yeah, we've had a few particular customers say, "Hey, I need it this range to match my existing decor." So we definitely can. The large displays that we bring in, the warm whites, usually around 2800. So we've got our classic line, but we haven't brought in any decor that's within that classic line. And then yes, we've got the cool whites and we've got pure whites as well, which are going to be more. If you're familiar with certified colors, that's going to be more true to ours, right? So that pure white's going to be a true crisp pure white, and not so much little warm hints to it.
Right. I like to call it a diamond white.
Diamond white,
I mean,
I like that. I like that. Pure white. And I mean,
Hmm.
that one has been growing in popularity, I think, with more of the millennial folks.
yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's all do you have any questions or anything on Facebook about this lighting colors? Because that's sometimes a hot topic.
We haven't gotten any yet. So we're
Well,
everyone's just, getting ready to do their homework for Ashley.
right.
Love it.
It's
So,
Rick's flying home from Orlando. He's been posting stuff about maintenance plans on permanent lights and um, the lifetime warranties and stuff like that. So,
oh
but
yeah, so for permanent lighting with lifetime warranty, that's a big deal.
yeah, Rick, we'll see you in a couple weeks at TransWorld. So, um, yeah,
So, Patrick, when installers are looking to grow their business, I know that's one reason that we have been doing so many trade shows and meetings with Certified Lights because we know that Certified Lights handles residential Christmas training, which so impressed by your training last year, by the way. It was great. Ashley, thank you so much for having that training. The hands-on part was amazing. You really like put those installers like in the trenches with you with your installers. So they really understand that it's not just hanging up the light. It's a lot about the safety and everything. But that's one reason why Red Sleigh Workshop is with certified lights on that because we really want to be able to get those people who are starting in residential or in residential to that next level to the commercial side. So Patrick, when these companies have gone through the certified lights training and it's been a couple of years or like the next year and they really want to start doing some commercial bids, what mistake do you think that they make that you saw because you were at our last training like when they're trying to grow, like what would you say a big mistake is that you've seen them do?
they don't spend on advertising. That's one. They just, I'm a word of mouth guy only, but I want to do 100 houses a year. Word of mouth can only get you so far. When they're trying to get into the commercial side, the biggest mistake that I see is they think that they need to advertise more on Facebook so these companies will see them and call them, not realizing that they have to go out and find these companies. And that's the biggest mistake that I see is just um, also their artwork for the RFPs is, cut and paste. It doesn't look very good. So those are probably the top three things that I see on our side is just and the Facebook thing is the biggest one. They just, oh man, I've spent $8,000 marketing in September and I didn't get any commercial leads. Well, that's because you got to go find them now. in March, April, and be doing all that stuff this time of year. They don't realize how early they need to be focusing on their commercial aspects. So,
Right. Definitely. One of the things that I saw over the last couple of months of doing these one-on-ones with these business owners has been that they put a lot of money on their Facebook leads or their SEO for their Google ads and all that, but they don't have a LinkedIn page or they don't have their, they don't have their website doesn't talk about their lighting section. Like their website's about their other business. They don't have like a separate landing page for their holiday or a logo for their holiday company, or they're not splitting it apart into two separate companies. I mean, there's a lot. If for me, what I've seen is they're willing to put money towards, of course, if they're on a consultation call with me, they're interested in moving to the next level in commercial, which is amazing. Um, but I would say 80% of the people that I've talked to have to put money towards their marketing materials, not just marketing like Facebook marketing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like having actual um, PDFs of their case studies, having the about them they can send out to clients, just marketing materials that show what type of company they are and what type of values they hold and who they are, that type of thing, because that is what's going to set you apart from people that are just an electrician coming in to put up trying to get lights in some mall or something. Like there's if you're if you're an installer and you're serious about growing your business into commercial, you have to be serious about how your business looks online and what you're posting in your socials. Like, do you have an Instagram? Do you have a web page for your Christmas? Like those things are really important. And that's what I've seen. I think that's been a big one where it's like, well, LinkedIn is where the commercial people hang out. So we got to be on there. And I mean, a lot of people are like, they don't want to do it, right? I mean, who loves to do social media? Not a lot of people don't love to do that,
Yeah.
right? But it's important. It's really important to do that. Okay, so what let's see. For hmm, so for Ashley, whoops. On the supplier side, like what do you see the differences between the people who are doing residential work and commercial work, like as far as what they need to plan for? Like, what's the differences from your end?
Hold on. Say that one more time.
From
Sorry.
residential to commercial, like what things do they need to plan for? Like if you're well, because you do both.
I
So
do
like
both.
what are some of the things that come up? Um, and I'm going to try to segue into your your talk at TransWorld, right? So if you guys didn't hear when we got on here, we were talking about Ashley's talk at TransWorld, and what she's talking about is team management for installations, how to what are the best practices and tools to reduce installation time, and that can be, of course, for residential or commercial. Since it's me, I'm going to talk about commercial, but like what does that look like? What do people if you're in residential or commercial, like what is it that you need to think about when you're preparing for install season?
Okay. I mean, so first things first, and I'm going to say this from going from residential to commercial, insurance requirements.
Ah,
Because a lot of people do not think about that. They say, oh, I've got, my general liability, my workers' comp, if you're carrying workers' comp, if you're not carrying workers' comp, you need to add that to your homework list and sign up for workers' comp because that's crazy.
that's the
Um,
second thing on your homework list, folks. Write that down if you're
Yes, right.
watching.
That actually put that one above the Kelvin. Okay, that's number one, and then learn about Kelvin temps. Okay, so yeah, they think, okay, well, I've got the basics, and I can go and I can do these large scale projects, and they're like, oh wait, hold on, it's requiring a $10 million policy, and I've got something way below that, right? Even I think we normally carried a 5 million policy until we got one of the airports here in Dallas. We're like, oh, okay, hold on. To drive at the airport where the planes are, we have to carry a $10 million policy. So I'm bidding this project. How much is this going to cost me extra in my
Right.
premiums? And is it worth it? it's going to cost me $50,000. It didn't, but just right. But I'm bidding the project for $30,000. Well, maybe this project isn't for me, or maybe I need to find a new insurance broker, right?
Right.
So that's one. Putting up a bond is another one. Sometimes they require you to have thousands of dollars to just submit with the proposal. Do you have that readily available? Do you have teams? Can you float payroll for
Right.
3 months potentially, because they may not pay until the lights are taken down. So you've had to pay payroll for install, maintenance, QA, and takedown. Can you afford to float that kind of payroll? So everyone wants to get those projects, but you really have to think ahead, like, okay, what is my company going to look like? How do I need to structure my company to be able to stay in these large projects? Because the other thing is they want references. So if you land one of those jobs and you're like, heck yeah, I got it, and you blow it, well, now you can't use that for a reference for the next one, or you do, and they're like, we didn't have the best experience with that Christmas light company, and now
Right.
you're just a little bit more in trouble. So those are really high level things to think about when you're bidding these large projects. Um, how many people are you going to need for installs? How much
Mhm.
time is that going to take? Which is something I'm going to be talking about at TransWorld is scheduling and making sure you've appropriated the right amount of time for these large projects, big or small, and how do you figure out how much time you need for these kind of jobs as well?
Exactly. And also about like equipment. That's a big one too.
It's a
The
big
hidden
one.
costs. And at the Red Sleigh workshop in-person training we had last month, that was a topic that came up a couple of times. The questions that came back were about hidden costs in these larger projects. And I always try to point that out, that these hidden costs, there a lot of people don't realize that, insurance being one of them, which you brought up. And then also the extra labor it would take. Do you have to hire certain types of labor? So, for example, do you need somebody who can climb a tree instead of using a
Mhm.
boom lift? Like that may be a different type of labor you might need. Do you need somebody who's lift certified to operate a larger lift, right? And is the request from this client or this city, whoever it is, municipality, is it something that you are willing to work in regarding your own company's safety guidelines and what you are doing? And if you're not sure about your own company's guidelines, then that's something to add to your number three to your list. What are you guys willing to do? Because that was a question that came up. It was, well, what are we forgetting when we're bidding these projects? And that's where you can lose out or you can win big, right? If you bid it correctly, then you make a great margin. If you don't think of that, the hidden costs will be your hidden costs will end up being that profit you would have made, right? So
Mhm.
this
We
is
had a
things,
job last season that required a 125-foot boom lift.
right?
It's not even just like, okay, well, how much is that going to cost? How long is this going to take? But it's me going to my team and saying, are you comfortable being in this, right? You're lift certified, no problem, but I want to make sure you're comfortable at the end of the day
Right.
too, because if you're not, I'm not going to bid the project, right? I want everybody to come home in the same condition that they came here in, right? And that's a little bit different than your standard 40 footers. So,
125 feet is tall.
And William Jones, who we just worked with a little bit for a job in South Carolina, he just hopped on. So hi, William. Ron Roby is also on as well.
Hey,
But
Ron. Hey, William. Thanks for being here.
we were going through everything on this RFP that it was, an all labor job. But um, he's how many crews does he have? Not all of them are from the area, so you got all the travel time and the hotels. And one of the nice things about the job that we bid is you could do a lot of the more painstaking stuff, wrapping trees before, so going through that RFP with him was, all the planning and stuff that you don't really think about. It was a lot of fun to kind of do all that with someone who hasn't done a very. I mean, he does a walkthrough. He does an amazing walkthrough in South Carolina or Georgia. I can't remember, but yeah, it was just
Somewhere.
it's always fun to go through RFPs and all that with installers and just kind of open their mind to stuff that you don't really think about. So, how many boom trucks are you going to need? How long is it going to take? You have two guys wrapping trees. Well, how much how many hours is it going to take for each tree? Is it half an hour? Is it 45 minutes? There's just so many different questions that you got to ask yourself. Yeah, before you even bid the job, because is it, and then if you do have their budget, is it even worth it? If
Right.
Hmm.
you're doing all of this and you're making $1,500, and that's your margin of error, you may end up, needing to lift for 2 more days, and all of a sudden you're only making $700.
There's
So,
your money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's
And it does vary when you know your crew too. When it's your company, you're going to know your crew and what they're capable of doing.
Hmm. Yeah.
yep,
Patrick was mentioning, like, does it take a half hour or an hour or 45 minutes to do something? That's a huge gap, right? If it takes someone 15 minutes compared to an hour, that can like break the job, right?
yeah. William put into quotes wrapping because the way that this municipality
Not wrapping. Yeah.
and then back down. They didn't wrap it, but William, put a link to your walkthrough in the comment so people can check it out because it's super cool. Yeah, we yeah, wrapping trees. I mean, and there's 80 trees, something like that. So even a 15-minute difference for 80 trees is quite a lot more man hours. So,
Right.
It
um,
adds up. We
but
also need to make sure people are tracking man hours. I don't think a lot of installers do that. Write that down.
Who
Number four
wants
on
to
your
do
homework
that?
list. Yeah. No
Track
one
your
wants
hours.
to do it, but calculating your man hours, how do you know if you're actually profitable? Right? You look at that job and say, oh, it's a $15,000 job. Heck yeah, I'm profitable. But when you break it down into hours, $95, how many other jobs can you fit into that same slot that takes a week to schedule that are maybe at $200 an hour, $250 an hour?
Exactly. Exactly. So thanks for jumping in there, guys, online. I'm going to actually get on here and talk more about what's happening up at TransWorld. If you guys have not registered for TransWorld yet, what are you waiting for? It's time. It's coming up.
Homework. Number five, go sign up for TransWorld.
Number one, put that at the top.
Number one. Okay. Well, insurance, workers' comp, and then TransWorld.
So I'm going to share my screen. You guys can all see that I'm on the registration site for TransWorld. Just their homepage is here. If you go to the homepage and you go to seminars and events, Christmas seminars, that's where we're at. Under here, pre-show pricing is good through March 20th, and there are a couple different things going on. So if you go to the installer intensive training program, this would be Red Sleigh Workshops installer workshop. So if you've already got your TransWorld ticket and you want to come to our 1 day commercial training, you can buy a ticket right here. You can get it for $300. And during this training, we're going to talk about commercial pricing and margins. We're going to talk about bid structures, about those 100,000 plus deals, commercial contracts, proposal strategies, all these things that you see here. My favorite part is a vendor cheat sheet. Can't wait for that one. And you're going to have access to like raffles and prize drawings we're having for that. But you can click here and get your ticket for that. If you want to bring more people, you just email us at info@redsleighworkshop.com for bulk pricing details. We'll give you a deal. That's if you already have your ticket to TransWorld. If you don't have your ticket to TransWorld, you can get a cool combo for us with our Red Sleigh Workshop Christmas commercial Christmas workshop plus the TransWorld ticket plus the light series. So the light series are 12 additional classes that are happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So our class is Wednesday, the 25th of March from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there are 12 other classes that are happening that were curated by Red Sleigh Workshop to help the installers get to that next level, right? Whether you want to get to the next level in your commercial or your residential Christmas business, it's just the tools that you need and the vendors you need to know and the people that are doing it well, they're here to help you. So stop leaving that $100,000 on the table. It says it right there. So,
And
um,
that's a steal. That price is absolutely excellent because each of those classes usually a little over $50 a piece. I think $55. So that
yeah,
alone covers your ticket and the whole training with Red Sleigh.
yeah.
We'll
And
be there.
one of the classes that's project, no, the projection mapping class is normally $110 for that
110.
class. So that in itself is worth the whole ticket, right? But what it includes is the registration to TransWorld, your full day commercial training, and then that 12 classes for the light series. And so you can sign up here again if you want to bring more people. Email info@redsleightworkshop.com, and Whitney will help you out with that to get you some special pricing. But it's something you don't want to miss. We do still have room in that our I think our class holds like 100 people, so we still have a couple tickets left for that. But I'm just not quite sure when it's going to sell out. So make sure that you get on board with that now. If you're interested in what's happening in the Light series, you can click on this button and it'll tell you what's happening Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all on here. All the classes are on here, um, including Mr. Scott Young from Certified Lights. He's teaching how to grow your installation business to $1 million. So if you are a current installer and you are in the residential field of installation and you want to grow your business to $1 million, take this class, right? So think about it. If you're doing 300,000 right now, grow to $1 million, your whatever you're paying your $300 for this class or $600 you're going to pay is going to be paid over however many times over for that one, right? But he's going to teach you about that. And then we also have our friend Kurt talking about his solar powered decor. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, because I have a lot of information about that solar powered product line. But getting back to Miss Ashley, we have on hers, she's under what day are you?
Saturday.
Saturday. Jeez, I
Saturday.
don't know this. Saturday. If you go to the regular Christmas seminar Saturday, there's projection mapping, there's Mr. Pipeline's coming, and then there's a bunch of other ones. But here she is, Ashley Garber from Certified Lights. So she's going to be in room 263, where you can register ahead of time. The way that it works on here is once you register, you can go in and see and click to order these classes individually. So her class is named Team Management Install, Team Grouping Best Practices and Tools to Reduce Install Time. So, like we just talked about, one of the main issues that happen in bidding projects, even if it's residential or commercial, is knowing your how to reduce your installation time, knowing what your labor is going to be, right? Because if we're not organizing it and we don't have the tools to track things like that, then we're going to lose out, and we don't want to lose any money. I'm
No.
sure of that. So that's what's here for TransWorld. If you want to share a little bit more about that, Ashley, you can.
Yeah, no, I mean it when it comes to scheduling or, installate or when it comes to scheduling, there's a lot of different pieces to it because on one hand, not every installer is going to work the same, not every job is the same. So creating these plans and calculators, if you will, to help you figure out how long those jobs are going to take is really going to be super beneficial for everybody. And then from there, you'll be able to narrow down on how profitable your company actually is and where you can, I don't want to say cut corners because it's definitely not it, but how you can reduce your labor time, right? I'll have the whole certified lights team will be there. I may drag one of my installers in there and help talk about it as well. Maybe I'll drag Sean in there, maybe I'll drag James in.
He's not on the
Um,
call right now. He left.
he left
Which
probably
is
because he's
odd.
out doing installs, right?
He was in his
Making
car. He was on the call in his car. Sorry
Mm-hmm.
about that.
On to the next job. So I'll probably pull them in there to help say, okay, well, here's what you can do if you're doing it roofline installations, if you're doing tree wrapping, right? Using different items like Treesy Wrap, for example, can help save a lot of time, which is going to save on labor. It's going to save on scheduling. So super excited to go over that and talk all things scheduling.
I'm excited for that class for you as well,
Thank
and
you.
for the installers that are going to be there. That's going to be great. Um,
Mhm.
Now back to me. Um,
Yes.
Patrick, you want to share about this class that's coming up?
Um, yeah. So one of our good friends and our clients, Stephanie Dardine, is going to be with Stacy. They're doing a class on designing for resorts and destinations. And so for all the residential and most of the guys out there doing installs, this is a lot of it's outside, but it's also a lot of interior. So how to design, I mean, all these luxury resorts and destinations, it's, they want all the pretty lights outside, but they also want it to be beautiful on the inside. And so that's where Stephanie has such a great knack for design, and Stacy as well. So it's definitely one you don't want to miss. They're going to teach you a lot. So I don't think I'm going to be there for that. I'm going to be manning the booth. So unfortunately, I won't be there. I know, that's kind of a sad for some of y'all, but if you're not at
People will be so disappointed.
but yeah, it
I'll
should
be
be
there.
awesome
That's
class.
fine.
Stephanie and Stacy both do such a great job with interiors that you don't want to miss. So
We're going to have Stephanie on Wednesday too on this live. So stay tuned for her.
awesome.
Um, so part of the light series, if you go on this on TransWorld's, you know, uh, Instagram, you can see a lot of things that are coming up and what's included in the light series. You can find that on the website as well. But just to circle back over now to Miss Ashley, if you go to certifiedlights.com, you can apply for a wholesale account, right? Would that be the best way for our viewers to buy from you?
You definitely can. I mean, you're going to get the most benefits, the most savings by signing up for the partnership plan, right?
And where would I go to
Um,
do that on here?
Scroll up to the very top under training and partnership, and then join the partnership.
Right here.
Or you can learn more about it by clicking just the partnership program there at the very top that's bolded.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, here
That's
it is.
fine.
Okay.
There you go. So it has a lot of other benefits that come with it. Yes, it's a reoccurring subscription. Okay, yeah, I know. However, the value that you get, so for example, our gold partners get 20% off website prices, silver partners get 10% off. The savings alone covers the annual amount that's paid monthly. Plus, you get access to a lot of other different options as well, such as we have a VIP rebate program, which you can get up to 10% cash back based on annual spend. There's a marketing rebate if you purchase your marketing materials through certifiedmarketingmaterials.com, which is partnered with UZ Marketing. So there's a lot of different options, and then 24/7 access to our training platform as well. So
That's great. And there's you also have resources on your site which are really great. The free calculators are
my
here,
calculators,
traps, like
yes,
who doesn't need a free calculator? Like these are great.
I love
Um
them. I
so
made
check these out.
those.
Check these
So
out if you're on watching.
yes,
And then over here we have some trainings coming up in September. It doesn't say the date on here, does it? Oh,
it
oh yeah, it
does.
is. Third and
Yep.
fourth. September 3rd and 4th out in Dallas. If you're interested in learning about how to build a profitable Christmas light installation business, it's a 2-day in-person training. And
Mhm.
this is the one we were talking about where it's just amazing, amazing information. And there's more. Right after that, on September 5th, there is a 1-day commercial Christmas training. So if for some reason you're insane and you're not making it to TransWorld and you're not going to make it to the Red Sleigh Workshops May training in person, then you can come here to this in-person training. This is a intro to commercial Christmas training. So it's going to have not as in depth as our 2-day training, obviously, because it's just 1 day, but we're going to still talk about how to confidently step into these commercial projects and how to start, like, what's the difference between residential and commercial? How are you going to do that? Mainly, the questions I get the most are, who's the person I talk to, right? We go through that. We talk about that and give you the tools on how to find those contacts and what to do, um, how to approach that work with your confidence level, right? And I like to say, if you have Patrick and I here with you, then you can walk into any job, we can help you with it, right? And I believe that's true, but having certified lights there too, like that's super helpful as well. So if you're interested, sign up here. Planning ahead is super important. So Patrick, you want to talk about our upcoming trainings at Red Sleigh?
Yeah, I would love to. We just had our first 2-day in-person training. It was awesome. We've got a 1-day pre-workshop day at TransWorld on Wednesday, the 25th. So she's going to scroll down here. There we go. 1-day person one day in-person training in TransWorld. Then we have May 7th through 8th. That's our second 2-day training here in San Antonio. We got a couple seats left for that. That's filling up. We had quite a few people sign up at Lighted Up Expo, so um, that was awesome. June 13th, we're going to be out in Bozeman, Montana. Action Lighting called us and they want us to come out and train a lot of their installers. So we said, heck yeah, we can't wait to go to Bozeman. So we'll be out there June 13th for one day teaching commercial Christmas. And then if you'll scroll down a little bit,
Where am I?
go back to ours. I don't know.
And that's the third to the left, to the right,
This
to the right.
one.
There you go.
So then June 18th and 19th, we have our potentially last. I mean, we have so much demand that we might add another class in July or early August. But right now, our last class here in the great state of Texas in San Antonio is going to be June 18th and 19th. And again, that's a 2-day intensive training for commercial Christmas. Um, and yeah, your ticket includes your hotel, your food for the 2 days, and the 2 days of training. So there's a social event on Thursday night every time. It's a lot of fun. And then we do have the last training of the year is with Certified in September. I actually made them aware today that I'm going to be missing it. So I got a cruise planned with my mom, and so unfortunately I can't reschedule it. So I won't be there, but Stacy will be there. Ashley will be there, and her whole team, and she has such a great team that she works with there at Certified. So um, you'll still get the same level of training, even though I'm not going to be there. So um,
I'm missing y'all's May training event, which makes me really sad. The certified team will be there, but I won't be.
oh,
Stacy,
okay.
Right.
you go.
You're going to
Get
be
me.
lounging in the Hawaiian sunshine, I heard.
I am. I fly to
Oh,
Hawaii on the 8th of May.
well, I
Awesome.
mean,
What island are you
The
going to?
the Big Island. Checking out
Ooh,
the Big Island this time around. So, my husband's birthday's on the 7th. The whole family's actually going. So, super excited for that. But I am pretty sad that because it was so much fun the last time for y'all's training. If you guys are thinking about doing commercial training, you guys have got to go to this 2-day event. We've been doing, so our installation company just turned 20 years old this year. Happy birthday, CLP. Um,
aw.
However, I was even taking notes. I was like, oh, let me take a picture of this. Like, I didn't even think about this, right? Um, you guys have got to go to that. It's full of so much information and being able to, sit in the back of the room because normally I'm at the front and listening to people talk about all the knowledge that Stacy's accumulated over her 20 years in the industry, and people who care about your success, to me is so fulfilling. Um, Please, if you guys are thinking about it, you got to go. You're missing out. You really, truly are.
well, thank
And
you.
they
I
didn't even pay me to say this, right?
Right.
That
know.
wasn't planned or scripted or anything.
Yeah.
Promise.
Thank you for that. So we're at the end of our hour here. I know it went by so fast. So sorry about
Always
that.
does.
I have a couple last final questions for you though, Ashley, if you don't mind.
I'm ready.
Um, okay, so what's your favorite color Christmas combo of lights?
Ooh, so last year for my house, I did champagne, pure white, and warm white. I don't know how I'm gonna go to anything else. I just absolutely loved it. I also did
Sounds
garland
super
along my
classy.
roof line, and it was just breathtaking.
How about you, Patrick? Your favorite Christmas color combo?
Um, I don't know. I actually did a pure white and teal a couple years ago. That was awesome. And then the rest of my street this last season decided to go pure white and some sort of blue. So I switched it up and did warm white and red, which is the classic look. But it really it's funny. I mean, there were like 3 or 4 houses in a row that were white and blue. And then I was like, well, I guess I got to rebulb everything. And I did the warm white and the red, which especially I have a red brick house. So it really looked good on there. I like the classic stuff. Warm white is my favorite. Red and white, can't go wrong with that. So, but I will say the pure white and the teal look, it was cool looking. But it was too cool because now the rest of my neighbors are doing it. So
Yeah.
I had
You
to switch.
started the trend. You're a trendsetter, so you can't
Yeah, I
go
mean,
wrong.
honestly though, they're not going to be ready for what I'm doing this year.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
So
It's coming. Something
I,
big is coming. So, what's one product every installer should carry this year, Ashley?
Other than your basics.
The one
Your
thing they have to make
one
sure they have.
thing, pre-bulb. Get the certified lights
Pre-bulb. Good
pre-bulb.
one. Yep.
Comes with your roof
Mhm.
clips attached, comes with your bulbs attached. You can get any color in March, right? If you want green and purple for Halloween, I can get it for you, no problem. We bring in 2800, which is your standard warm white faceted filament, whatever you want. 250 feet, same price if you're to buy those pieces individually. I'm covering the labor to put those together for you because that's what you get when you buy from another installer.
And the filament bulbs are so cool looking. I think
Love
that's a
them.
trend too that people want is that filament bulb for sure. I think that's on trend with the multicolor filament.
I mean, if we're going 90s Christmas,
What it is.
hard to get away from incandescent, which is what you can get that same look with our classic line.
Yeah.
when
All
I
right.
learned at your training last year that you guys, send everything out pre-bulbed, I don't understand why people buy it differently. Like, I mean, that's such a time-consuming process. If you have a vendor like Certified Lights that are like, hey, we'll pre-bulb everything, it's the same price as buying it, by itself. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. I mean, I know your team probably doesn't like to hear me say that because they're the ones out in the shop there, putting all the clips and the bulbs together. But as an installer, I mean, you save so much time by rolling up and having everything done. You can just, even if you're not pre-cutting, if you just roll around with a couple 250, you guys do 5 or whatever.
250 feet, which is 250 feet, 12 inch, and then 200 with 15 inch. So it comes in both sizes.
I don't know why you wouldn't buy it like that. It's the same price as if you were buying everything. So it just, to me, it doesn't make sense. Because we've all been there where you get to a job and all right, you gotta, put a clip in a bulb. And I mean, even 150 feet takes, a hot minute. It's not the easiest. And then
Mhm.
you're putting it on their driveway or in their grass. If it's already done, you just get up there and have a guy up there and you're just feeding him the lights straight from the roll.
Nice and simple. My favorite question is, well, does it snag? Of course, it's going to snag a little bit, but still way bigger of a time savings than sitting in your garage or, God forbid, sitting at the job site bulbing your spools up.
Yeah, no longer you don't have to hire your kids anymore to do all the pre-bowling. So that's what you got certified for. Yeah, that's
Hire my kids and they'll do, well, my installer, my warehouse folks, right?
yeah.
No children, but yeah,
Your
you get
work
the
kid.
point. Yeah, my work children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that. And thank you, Ashley, for being here. Thank you, Patrick, for all your wonderful insight. So tonight we talked a lot about how lighting industry is evolving, working. Shout out to Ryan Lee again at Light It Up Expo. Super amazing, amazing connections there. Thank you so much. We're going to be on his podcast really soon, Patrick. I just got an email as we're on here to join, I think next week or this week. I don't have to look. It said March, so it's coming up. And we talked about what successful Christmas companies do differently. So make sure you're looking out for that. And why you have to plan inventory now. Why do you want to join the PAP program? Well, how's that important to you? Also, as you're stepping into this larger scale work or trying to double your business, like who are your partners that are here to help you? I'm here to help you. Patrick's here to help you. Certified Lights here to help you. We're here. My business grows if your business grows. I feel like I've succeeded when you guys have succeeded, right? And that's how Patrick and I like started this business. That's what we're here to do, and we're here to help you slay the season. We're here to help you slay your business, and make it the best experience for all of your employees, for your future employees. It's about building legacy. It's building something that you can actually look back and be proud of. So I'm here to help you do that, and super excited about that. If you have any questions about our upcoming training, TransWorld, any of that, Patrick and I are available. You can just go on all the socials. We're everywhere. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those spots. And I think like my cell phone number is probably on our website. You can just text me right there. I think it's still the one that's up there. So feel free just to text me from the website number. I'm happy to answer. Probably the best way to get a hold of me is through text message. And, finally, for Ashley, if someone wants to get a hold of Ashley, what if installers are looking to get a hold of you, Ashley, what is the best way to get a hold of certified lights? Where should they go?
Um, email us. You can email our office at info@certifiedlights.com, or you can email me directly. During the season, it's a little bit harder to get a hold of me because I'm wearing multiple hats, right? But right now it's pretty smooth. Ashley Garber at certifiedlights.com.
All right. So thank you, Patrick. Any final words for our listeners, watchers?
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that are watching that we got to meet at the Lighted Up Expo, it was great to meet you, great to talk, and we're really looking forward to TransWorld. We're really happy to work with them and build the light series and kind of change it up from what it's been the last 4 or 5 years. Just not your average light series. So we've kind of slated up this year and it's just we put our own personal touch on it based on all the installers that we work with. So we wanted to make it something special. So that's what we've done. I mean, honestly, can't wait to get there and see everybody, all the people who are going through our training, and just really looking forward to TransWorld as well as all the other training events that we have coming up. So,
Right.
um, again, you can reach me at patrick@redslayworkshop.com, Stacy at redslayworkshop.com, all the different socials, even the TikTok. And
The TikTok.
yeah, so thanks for being on here. We got plenty of more lives coming up. If you're interested in some of the classes, most likely those people are going to be on our lives. So stay
Okay.
tuned, follow our socials. We post everything on there about our upcoming lives and yep, we're ready to slay 2026.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us on Slay the Season Live. We will see you soon. Have a great night. Bye, everyone.
Bye.